How's it going, YouTube? And welcome back to My Comic Life. Now, My Comic Life is a comic vlog that comes out, and I'm going to try to keep with this Monday through Friday. Yes, this is a daily vlog where I talk about all the comics I have been reading, any comic news that's on for the day, and this weekend was the once in a lifetime, or once a year, we have New Comic Book Day. Now, New Comic Book Day is a day where all the comic book shops that want to go into this decide to put down some money to give you, the fans, free comics. Now, a lot of times it works. It should work. It should work. But damn, I see on Twitter all these people posting about their free comic book day haul. Nothing that they actually purchased at the comic book store. No. Multiple copies of the same comic. And then you go on eBay and you see that all those comics, especially for the Marvel one, they're all on eBay for about $5 each. And it truly was like, this is not the point of Free Comic Book Day. Free Comic Book Day is supposed to be a thank you for the comic book stores. But no, they have to go out of their way to get more staff. So not you personally, but most of the people who go in there for free stuff and just take the free stuff and then just leave and not actually purchase anything at the store. And I was watching a show on YouTube. Comic Palace is kind of like this little documentary on the daily life of a comic book store. And the guy that owns the shop has decided, I am not doing free comic book day. I am going to purchase the free comic book day comics. And if a child comes into the store looking for free comics, I'm going to give it to him. But if someone else comes in, I'm not, supporting, I'm not doing it. I'm going to give those comics that I purchased with my own money, I'm going to give it to the library. So the library has the stuff and, they can distribute it whatever way that they want. And so, and just hearing these stories of other comic book shops actually seeing less profit on a daily, with New Comic Book Day. Yes, New Comic Book Day, or Free Comic Book Day, is bringing a whole bunch of consumers to their store, but they're not actually consuming anything. They're not actually purchasing anything. So a lot of times it's a deficit for the store. So this Free Comic Book Day, I didn't go. I see all those lines, and I've seen the pictures like from my comic book shops around my surroundings. And I truly didn't feel like I needed that. I don't think I needed any of the comics that came out of Free Comic Book Day, because a lot of it is advertisement for stories that will come in the past or come in the future. Where for me, I am spending on a monthly basis almost $300 a month on my comics. Now, for a mass majority of people, that would be a lot of money to spend on comics. But for me, my entertainment is the comics, and I'm not going out to the bars. I'm not spending my money on a lot of things. But the one thing I have been enjoying are comics, and so I feel like I've done my part to support the comic shop, and that the Free Comic Book Day is not for me. Free Comic Book Day is for somebody that just wants a free handout, mostly. And yes, there are some great deals out there. Like my comic book shop, the one I go to, children get the comics for free. But you get as many of the free comics that you want. But for the adults, you have to spend you have to buy at least, for like every single book you at least buy, like, if you want to buy 10 books or you want to get 10 free books, you gotta at least spend like $5 to $10. You gotta buy something. So, and they had a huge turnout, and I'm hoping that they made a lot of money, because I know the comic store owner, she put a post out. I was like, hey, if anybody wants to help me set up for this thing. And mind you, this place is huge. It's 2 stories. The second story is usually mostly for their gaming, but no, they went and put out so many comics, like boxes, and there were some great deals, and I wanted to go for those great deals, but I'm gonna wait. I mean, I spend enough as it is, and I don't need to spend any more. So that's just my little, I don't know if it's like considered a rant, and I hope you had a great free comic book day. But for me, I was glad to not have to deal with that fiasco. And I was really like disappointed to see all these people coming and selling all this stuff on eBay. It's like, ugh, that's not what free comic book day was supposed to be about. But I did go and purchase on Wednesday some comics. I purchased Year of the Villain, the new number 1, for 25 cents for DC Comics. I was like, hey, 25 cents to basically is an advertisement for the upcoming year of, I don't know if they're going to be one-shots, but it's an interconnected story where the villains are basically winning. Red Sonja, issue number 4. Ascender, issue number 1. Look at that cover. That cover's absolutely stunning. We then have Beast of Burden, issue number 1. And I'll start off with the new number 1 by Image, Gogor, issue number 1. This story was such a good fairy tale-esque type of story. It starts out, our main character's on the run. He has supposedly this note or this treasure map or something, where if he goes to a certain spot in the world, he can release this beast, as you can see from right here. And the story really, when he's going through this adventure where he's running through the lands, you get a sense of the world around him as he's running for his life. And there's this great part where the people that are chasing him are on almost like these ant type of creatures, and he is on, it looks like almost like a flying squirrel, and he jumps off of this cliff, which you think is a cliff, and come to find out that the world that they inhabit, all around, it's like a circular, you got little pockets of floating islands, and he jumped over to the other one, and he's on the hunt to try to find a spot to release the Gogor. And then he meets up with this really awesome creature that's helping him on his journey. And the first issue really gives you a conclusion to, like, if this was like, it almost felt like its own little contained story. So I'm really intrigued to see where the second issue goes from here, because by the end, as you can tell, the monster's there, the monster comes out, and who knows what the monster is going to bring. But this first issue does a great job at conveying the world around our main character, and I really did enjoy the cast of characters that is in this book. And also, this book is written and drawn and colored, and it's lettered by only one guy, Ken Garing, and I think the second issue, it might be coming out in 2 months. So, wow, great job. I mean, really, it was a really fast book, but it did its job as a new number 1 to establish who the character is at this very moment and what is his journey. And by the end, I was like, okay, I am definitely down for this series. Now on to another series that I could definitely tell that there is more to, or there's past stories with these cast of characters. Beast of Burden. The story starts out with this family, son, daughter, and a father, and it looks like that they're trying to almost grave rob a gravesite. And all of a sudden, these dogs and the cats come out, and they start talking to our people that we think they're going to start to grave rob. And it is such an awesome book. This book is, I could definitely tell if you have read the series up until now, you would kind of be put off by how much it backtracks and tries to explain the world around our cast of wild animals, that it could have been a real turnoff for a person that's been here since the beginning. But for a person like me, I felt it really established firmly establishes what the rules of the world and what every single cast of characters' role is in this group of animals. And they all have such individual, they feel like individuals, and not all of them sound like they're the same animal talking. The pug that's in here is just such an awesome character that there was a moment where he was in peril and one of our furry friends dies, and I was afraid that it was going to be him, but he doesn't. It's a really cool little story that seems like it has a deep mythology that it makes me really want to go back and read some of the previous stories. Any real negatives I have to say is, other than if you're a long-time reader, I could definitely tell that this book can be quite a drag at certain points, just because it's trying to set up the world around it, because with it being a new number one, there's so many people that jump onto a series just because of that new number one, and you definitely tell that there has been other stories in this universe, and this book does a good job at getting me as a new reader caught up. But I could definitely tell it could hurt the reading of an established reader. So, Beast of Burden, definitely be on the lookout. Especially look at this cover. This cover is so gorgeous that I really want to go and try to figure out. And there's this awesome moment where the people who are about to go into the grave rob this grave, and our furry friends warns them and says, just to let you know, there's a mouse warlock down there with this whole bunch of minions. You don't want to mess with them. And it pays off so well in this book. And I noticed the HD Pro webcam mic's on. I'm hoping that the audio is okay. But I'm 12 minutes in, and if not, I'm going to be really sad. Next up, we have, because I have this mic right here, which is a really nice Shure mic. And I'm really disappointed right now to see that I did not click that button to put it on. Oh, I hope it's coming out good. So, this book came out last week, and I thought I'd put it on my pull list, but I guess not. This is Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen, Ascender. Now, this is a sequel to Descender, which I think was going on in 2010, 2011, but the story of that is done, and this takes place, I think, 2 years after Descender. And like A Beast of Burden, I never read the previous books or the previous series, so I was a little skeptical and a little bit worried that I would not be able to jump on. But this issue right here is a really great jumping on point. It does a lot to establish who the characters are. I think it introduces our new character, our main character, this little girl right here. And there's this amazing scene where it introduces the villain of the story. And you really get the sense of how powerful this person is, and how I believe in the story that she's that there was once robots and all these different type of machinery around, and she stopped that. She made sure that none of that is around anymore. And so the people in the center have basically gone back to the Dark Ages, and it seems like there's such a great story that Descender was about, that just like Beast of Burden, it makes me really want to go back and read the previous series. But this new girl, she's living with her father, and they're up in the mountains. They're basically just shunned from the village. Now, to go down to the village and to buy and sell, you need to be a worshiper of the mother, the person that banished and got rid of all the machinery. And you need to basically praise her like a god. And her father's like, no, that will never happen. But she's like, Father, if I just say Just say they're just words, you know, that I believe in the mother and all this different type of stuff. I can go to school, I can, you know, do all this stuff, but I don't believe it. But I can just still just go and get the benefits just by saying a couple words. But you definitely tell that he fought this mother that's taken over and has all this immense power. And there's this beautiful scene where he talks to he's like, you realize that your mother sacrificed herself for this. Like, she was, you know, deep in it. You know, she was fighting the good fight. And there's this scene where the mother's ghost is like next to the father, and she tells him, like, you know, basically go easy on our daughter. And with some beautiful, beautiful moments. The art in here is really unique. It's definitely something that not everybody will enjoy, but for me, I definitely was enjoying it. And I just love this cover. I really hope that the audio's good, because this would be horrible to have to, you know, terrible mistake by my part. And then we got Red Sonja, issue number 4. This has been a series I've been highly regarding as one of the best series in this in 2019. Red Sonja is the story of she has gone back to her homeland, and her homeland is about to be about to be taken over by this emperor that's trying to take over all the lands. And they hear about this great soldier coming, and they decide, we're going to make her a queen, and she's going to protect us. Red Sonja takes up the mantle, and the thing I love about the series, it really dives deep into the mythology of the land, and you get the sense of the land, and it doesn't try to demonize this emperor, and it just feels like it's a cohesive story that's just epic in scale. Now, issue number 4 definitely is epic in scale, but it doesn't really progress the story as much as I want. There's a lot of action scenes in here, but it just doesn't move the story along as far along as I was expecting. But overall, the past 4 issues have just been great, and Red Sonja has become one of my favorite characters in comics. She's just such a powerful character. And I thought when I first started reading, I don't like those comics that just goes on the sex appeal and like girls in bikinis always being chained up, all those fetishes type of things. That's what I thought Red Sonja was. Come to find out, I was damn wrong. And it's just Red Sonja has been an eye-opener for me quite a bit. Now on to the 25-cent Year of the Villain, issue number 1. This book right here definitely does its job at setting up this whole entire dominoes of the villains taking over DC Universe. Would I say that this book was worth the 25 cents? Yeah, of course I would. The art in here was pretty good. The writing was solid. There's nothing really weak about it. I did like the parts with Lex Luthor where Lex Luthor is talking about how he knows how to take over or how to win against these heroes and take them down. And at that moment, he sacrifices himself, or he commits suicide, and just the dominoes start dropping. And I was just like, I was really intrigued, but you definitely tell it's starting. This issue was just to set a storyline here for this character, for that character, and it did its job for Year of Villain. It's just setting